There we go, and we are live with a Right Angle Sports release show Saturday, February 25th. Good to see more than 1,100 people here on the show. We had to delay it about 30 seconds. There was a big service release. We were waiting for the numbers to get above 1,000. Now we're there. Now everybody is here, and we are ready for a big Saturday. On the Thursday show, we switched up the release method. We ran a little bit of a test. We wanted to see how it went. We gathered a lot of feedback. Appreciate everybody who took a couple seconds to go through and answer the survey. We got some data back. We're going to sit on that for a little bit before we decide to do anything going forward. So today we will be going back to the usual method where I will tell you a game to set up. We'll give everybody about 20 seconds, and then you're either going to hear go, cancel, or opposite. So it'll be the old method that we have been using for the entire season. Yesterday, I say Friday, on Thursday, that was just something we did for a test, and we'll see a little bit more about that going forward. But again, thank you to everybody who took a second out of their day to help us with some feedback on that. With all that said, there are a ton of games on the board today, so we have a number of setups to get to. So we're going to pull up the odds screen, and we are going to get to it with more than 1,200 people here on the live stream. So with all that said, we'll pull up the odds screen, and we will get to the first setup of this Saturday morning. All right, here we go, guys. First setup of this Saturday morning show. We are setting up game number 732 Portland Pacific under 159.5 at 4 p.m. Pacific time. 732 Portland Pacific under 159, 4 p.m. Pacific. Couple more seconds. Game number 732, Portland Pacific under 159.5 is a go. Starting the day off with a under on Portland Pacific under 159.5. This is a go. As always, when you are betting this, let us know where you were betting it. What were you seeing? Portland Pacific under 159.5 is a go to start off this Saturday morning show, as we see multiple books now down to 156. And even lower, seeing 159.5 for Aaron to get things going. 160 for Sean at Stations as the chat now loads up with a number of people saying they got 159.5 or better. Devin Barth was in there. Kevin Hill, Vern, Robert, Brian, all 159.5 to start the day off. Some 160s showing up as well for Tripp, as well as others. West Coast guy in with the 159.5 at PPH. Same thing for Joe, Mike, and a number of others. 159.5 Portland Pacific under gets the day going with the first release. Again, a lot to get to today, so we're going to keep the pace pretty quick, and we're going to keep moving as we get to the second setup of this Saturday show in just a couple of seconds. Next setup. Going to set up game number 752, SMU South Florida under 151 at 4 p.m. Pacific time. Game number 752, SMU South Florida under 151, 4 p.m. Pacific time. Couple more seconds. 752 SMU South Florida under 151 is an opposite. We were betting SMU South Florida over 151. Over is a go. Over 151 SMU South Florida, the opposite on this one. If you have the under, switch it as we see books start to maneuver. Some going down, some going up. We are on the over at 151. Let us know, guys, the rare opposite. How did you guys do with the opposite here? SMU South Florida over 151. Bryce loves it. Sean got 50.5, half a point better than the release odds. Chris got 149.5 at the PPH. Galen was able to get 150.5 as well. 150.5 for Mike. Seeing 151 showing up. Brian got it as well. Dan got the 151.5. Good for Dan. 149.5 for Ramsey as well. Looks like a lot of people were able to get it very, very quickly. 149.5, 150 showing up. As always, the opposite can be an option within this show. We don't use it often, but it is always there as some of these games are getting bet very early. We're seeing front running going on within the market. And so we have the opposites to keep things fair for everybody, to keep the show balanced. And this, of course, exists not only here on the release shows, but also in the service as well. So over 151 SMU South Florida, the second go of the day. Give everybody a couple more seconds before we get to setup number 3 of this Saturday morning. Next setup, going to game number 714, North Carolina minus 3.5, 3 p.m. Pacific time. Game number 714, North Carolina minus 3.5, 3 p.m. Pacific time. Couple more seconds to set up 714, North Carolina minus 3. Game number 714, North Carolina minus 3.5 is a go. We are betting North Carolina minus 3.5. This is a go. Third go in a row with the opposite in the middle for this Saturday morning, as we see a couple of the books start to light up. Lots of people should be able to find this 3.5, as this one was a little bit slower to move than the others. Game that has been on the move. Good for Tim, grabbing the flat 3 at Buckeye. Steven was able to get the 3 as well. Same with Trevor, West Coast guy. Sean was able to get that 3.5, and now we're seeing a lot of the usuals here on the show. Carter, Brian, Devin, Sean, all able to get the 3 or 3.5. Joe Lupo sighting as well on this Saturday morning was able to get the 3 flat. We are grading this one North Carolina minus 3.5. So everybody who got slightly better than that, doing well. Everyone who got on the release number at 3.5, doing well too. North Carolina minus 3.5. The third go on the show and the final go on this Saturday morning. 3 bets in total. Portland Pacific under 159.5. SMU South Florida over 151 on the opposite. And North Carolina minus 3.5. We are over 5,000 subscribers. Appreciate everybody who has watched the shows for the last couple of weeks. It is a very busy couple weeks coming up, and I don't say that lightly. We got conference tournaments beginning in just a couple of days. They're going to run into March. So if you haven't subscribed already, the button is down below. We may have a couple extra shows that are unplanned during the week as well, with so many different games. And of course, the service going on at raspicks.com/order. All of the details. 12 and 7 start to the service. 7 plays pending today to go along with these 3 here on the release show. It is a big Saturday. Thank you, everybody, for stopping by. Enjoy your Saturday. We'll chat to you on the next show.